Folks, I'm just going to come out here and say it, because I didn't say it before, but I'll say it now. I didn't watch all of I didn't watch all of Dominion 6-9 in Osaka J Hall. I think that's what I don't know. Is that what it was called? Yeah, in Osaka-jo Hall. I didn't see all of it. Apparently, somebody on Facebook, a group on Facebook, was streaming it live for us to see. Because there's not a lot of us that can afford New Japan World, and not a lot of us that have access TV. So, yeah. So, yeah. What am I saying? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, not a lot of people had it, but I did see it. I did see some of it. And I saw a majority of Okada and Omega. And I have to say, WWE, if you want a good idea of how to tell a story, and you want a good idea of how to really make a fourth and possible final matchup in a rivalry, a feud, mean something, Omega and Okada is how you do it. I don't think you'll achieve that with Lesnar and Reigns if that's what you plan for SummerSlam, but still, that should give you an idea of how to do it. Now, with that said, we do know that New Japan has an event coming up in San Francisco. Matter of fact, if I Google it, I can look it up right now. Okay. It's called the G1 Special 2018 in San Francisco. It's the second time on U.S. soil, second time in California. And it's basically the prelude event to the G1 Climax. Now, it's a 2-night event, and it's got a tournament. Well, I had a tournament for the U.S. Championship last year, but anyway. But it's an annual event. Apparently now it's an annual event, I should say. Um, it's an annual event taking place in San Francisco. Now, here's what's funny. A lot of people were complaining that ticket sales were not doing so well for the G1 special in San Francisco at the Cal Palace. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people were surprised with Dominion when you had, and if I can get back to it, I'll mention these. When you had 5 championships change hands, and by my count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of them went to North American competitors. North American competitors. That's, you heard me right. 4 IWGP championships went to North American competitors. Now, New Japan does have a new president, I believe. I think if I find his name here, I can. Here you go. Harold Midge is a Dutch businessman who is the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And basically, he came to Japan as a young child due to his father's work, not speaking any English or Japanese, but eventually learned both. He was born in 1963. He graduated from Bucknell University, attended New York University, In 1987, he joined Heineken Japan, then moved to Liver Japan, Sunstar, and in 2006 was Senior Vice President of Coca-Cola Japan until joining Takara Ami in 2014, where he became the COO. In 2015, he became the President and CEO of Takara, thereby becoming one of the first foreign nationals to lead a first selection listed Japanese company. He then would successfully turn the loss around, and now he says he is the Japanese history buff and loves pro wrestling, and now he is the president of New Japan. So it sounds like he has a lot of success behind him, which would also explain maybe why, ladies and gentlemen, why you had 4 North American wrestlers win championships. 4 North American wrestlers, 3 USA competitors, and 2 Canadians. Michael Elgin becoming the never openweight champion, defeating Gaito and Tahashi. The Young Bucks defeating Sonata and Evil, thus becoming, as far as I know, one of the first tag teams to go and transition successfully from the junior heavyweight tag team division to the heavyweight tag team division and win championships in both divisions. As well as Chris Jericho winning the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. The only championship that went back to Japanese hands was when Will Ospreay lost the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship to Hiromu Takahashi. But you had Jericho, Omega, the Bucks, and Elgin win the 4 championships that night. And you're probably wondering, well, what does that have to do with G1? Okay. How do you sell tickets to an event promoted by a foreign organization? An organization in Japan that's pretty much becoming the new rival, the new competition somewhat to WWE, even though there's supposed to be some kind of working relationship maybe down the line, or at least both sides are getting along temporarily, seeing as though both sides are promoting a video game tournament fight, video game wise, not actual fighting, but video game wise, between Xavier Woods of WWE and the New Day and Kenny Omega, the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. I'm just saying. But what I'm getting at here, folks, is the fact that when you look at it, apparently this Harold guy, when he became president or took over as president, heard about the lack of sales that the Cow Palace event was suffering from. So he probably came up with the idea of, hey, why not put the championships, even if it's temporary, why not put these championships on these Western American or North American competitors who are well received and well known in the US? Put the championships on them, probably put them in there as part of the event, and tickets may go up. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if that's the reasoning. He probably realized that not everybody knows who Okada is, as surprising as that sounds. People may not know who Naito is. Maybe people don't know who Sanada or Evil are. They may not know who Hiroki Goto, I can't pronounce his name, I do apologize, and Tahashi is. They may not know who they are. Honestly, they may not. They're probably like, well, maybe that's the reason. And this guy, obviously being successful at what he does and loving the business, probably realized, you know what? The only way we're going to get tickets to sell at this event is if we put the championships on well-renowned North American athletes. And yeah, they could drop the titles at the event. They could drop the titles to Jericho could drop the belt back to Naito. Young Bucks could drop the championships back to Evil and Sonata, or whoever they face in Japan. Elgin can drop the belt back to Tahashi or Goto. They could do that. They could do that at the Cow Palace. They could do it when they go back to Japan afterwards. But the only reason, as good as this event was, the only reason Jericho got the Intercontinental Championship, the only reason Omega got the World Heavyweight Championship, the only reason the Young Bucks got the Tag Team Heavyweight Championship, and Elgin got the Never Open Weight Championship, as much as they are deserving of those opportunities, was to help sell tickets, was to help ticket sales at the G1 Climax in at the G1 special, not the Climax, but the G1 special in San Francisco to sell out more. Basically, by putting the belts on these North American athletes, this Harold guy pretty much realized that this would probably help ticket sales go up. And don't be surprised if that's the result. That the ticket sales end up increasing instead of not being successful. Or basically, what I'm getting at is instead of lacking in sales and not having probably a sellout crowd, don't be surprised if tickets start selling out faster than before. Because people are going to be like, oh, Chris Jericho is going to be there because he's the Intercontinental Champion and he's going to defend his title. Or Elgin's going to be there. He's going to defend the Never Open Weight Championship. This is what's going to do it. These title changes are what's going to do it. Now, again, would they lose the championships at the G1 special in San Fran? Maybe not. Maybe they will. But the reason the championships changed hands, think about this. The reason 4 out of 5 champion, what is it? 1, 2. Okay. The reason 4 out of 6 championships, from what I can tell, changed hands to North American athletes was to help ticket sales increase for the G1 special in San Fran. This Harold guy, basically from what I've read and looked at on his Wikipedia page, sounds like a smart guy and he knows what he's doing. Sounds like he does. And he probably realizes the best way to get ticket sales to go up and possibly have a potential sellout is to do the title changes, even if they're temporary. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, then what was the point? Again, the point was to basically get ticket sale, to increase the ticket sales and try to get a decent, if not a sellout crowd in the Cow Palace. I mean, put yourself in this guy's shoes. What would you do? Keep the championships on people that are not as well renowned as a Jericho, an Elgin, an Omega, or a Mike and Nick Jackson? Or would you put them on people that they know, that they're familiar with? I'm just saying. It's my, again, look, it's my opinion. I know some people may say I'm probably wrong about it, but am I? Think about it. Think about it, folks. Think about it for a moment. Now, they could keep the belts on these guys for as long as they want. I'm not saying they won't. But think about the timing. Think about the timing. I want you to think about that for a moment. Think about the timing. But really, that's all I'm going to say. I honestly, look, I'm not saying Kenny Omega isn't deserving of it. He is. He's worked his ass off. Excuse my language, God, but he's worked his ass off to get to that moment. He had a great match. Every time he faces Okada, classics, no doubt. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm not saying Jericho doesn't deserve it. But Jericho, second match back with New Japan, he becomes champion. If that doesn't reek of, let's get a big name in there to sell out the Cow Palace for this G1 thing, I don't know what does. So, and the same with the Young Bucks and Michael Elgin. And again, will they keep the belts on them as long as they can? Who knows? They may not, I don't know. Or they just keeping them on there temporarily until after the G1 special, and then maybe have them drop them in Japan later on down the year, maybe before Chris Jericho's cruise and all that? Perhaps. Maybe before all in, perhaps. But again, it's just my opinion. You could have a difference of it, but it's just my thoughts and reasoning as to why 4 out of 6 championships changed hands to North American athletes. I'm just saying, guys. But let me know what you think. The Lexman, O2R Central, I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. And I'd like to hear what any of your thoughts are. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think that's the reasoning? Let me know down below. Comment if you like. I'd like to hear from you. And I am out.